Hey, my name's Paul Higgins, and I am the Irish Connection. This podcast is about connecting with people from all walks of life and finding out their stories, so that they can connect with you all. Positive connections are contagious. Why don't you find out for yourself by listening along weekly? And you can also make more connections through the stories on our blog. Enjoy.
Thousand welcomes to another episode of the Irish Connection, where today I'm going to delve further into the idea of financial freedom. Now, for those who are financially free, isn't it an incredible feeling? Well, according to my recent guest on the Irish Connection, Johnny Ward, who's an Irish travel blogger and adventurer now, it has been the financial freedom that he has obtained since starting his blog One Step Forward that has allowed him to pursue his dream way of life, and it right now finds him rowing across the Atlantic Ocean unsupported. Amazing epic adventure. But what does financially free mean? Is it a general term that means the same to everyone? Or is it something more personal and individual? Well, my thought is that it depends on the individual. Depends on their own personal circumstances. Now, I can't be sure of this because it doesn't seem to be a widely talked about topic. It's not really a conversation that you have in the pub with your mates. Here, mate, are you financially free yet? But strangely enough, in the Western world, where people, especially in pre-COVID times and during pre-COVID times, were very quick to talk about personal freedom and seem real quick to protect these freedoms quite vocally. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of movement. But financial freedom wasn't really mentioned. It's way down the list of conversation. I'm thinking that people may consider themselves to have financial freedom in different ways, but some people, they may feel that financial freedom is when they have enough money to mean that they don't have to worry about paying their bills every month. Some other people may feel financially free when they've cleared all their debts. They have no money and they've got no personal debt. Then you might have other people who think, once they pay that final mortgage payment, I'm going to be financially free. And then for others, it could be that they're just looking to give a better lifestyle financially to their children than they had. And I think each interpretation is personally valid and really important to that individual. But for me, I think that true financial freedom is having enough income so that you can choose what you do with your time. I think it's time to begin to bring financial freedom into our daily conversations. Let's put that out there to our friends and family. Let's talk about financial freedom. The same way we talk about our first job, our first house, getting a new car, going to university. But you may ask yourself, why would we want to have financial freedom? Now, the way I see it, my definition of it, is that financial freedom comes and brings the choice to spend your life doing the things that you want to do and living life on your terms. Now, that could mean for some people living off grid, minimalistic. Could mean working an awesome job, choosing to be the best surveyor, the best solicitor, the best retail assistant, care worker, teacher, public servant. Or you may decide you want to be running your own business. But if everyone in this world was financially free, what would that world look like? Powerful thought that. What would that world look like? Maybe that high-flying CEO wouldn't be a high-flying CEO. He'd choose to work with animals or be a carer. Because being a CEO is he living his real passion. For me, it's clear that financial stress and anxiety is absolutely rife in the modern world. And I feel it's stopping people from knowing what they want in life. It's really limiting our choices. I really feel if you are financially free, you're going to have better health, better quality of life, improved choices, which will reduce those stresses. So I'm actually recording this shortcast just days after the Meghan and Harry interview with Oprah, the fallout of which I'm pretty sure will be getting discussed when you're downloading this episode of The Irish Connection. Like most people, I admit, hands up to watching it. There was one part which made me pause and rewind. Harry said, "I've got what my mum left me, and without that, we would have not been able to do this." So essentially, they were given what they perceived to be their personal freedom by the financial freedom that his inheritance from his late mother gave him. Now, like I said, being financially free may mean different things to different people, and depending on your own personal circumstances, your upbringing, your outlook, you may expect financial freedom to look differently. But for Harry and Meghan, the inheritance from his mother seems to have given them personal freedom. The freedom in order to move forward with what they want to do, live life on their terms, with regard to the Netflix and the Spotify contracts which they may have not been able to do. But for Johnny, financial freedom isn't about the flashy lifestyle. It's not about the Rolex watches, the fancy cars. No, he said about staying humble. And given how busy he is, he certainly doesn't mean that he wants to give up work and sit by the pool all day. Rather, it seems to mean that he has more flexibility in what he chooses to work on and when he wants to work on it. So, what are some of the reasons that you would like to be financially free? Take a minute, write it down, think about it. I would reiterate that for me, financial freedom means you live life on your terms. So that being said, why hasn't everyone got financial freedom? I think the big issue is that we don't talk about it. We talk about finances outside of the narrow terms of finances. For example, what's your salary? What's your pension? Do you budget each month? Do you save? Have you got stocks and shares? Are you in debt? We don't talk about it. And we don't set out to get it either. We may set out to get our GCSEs, get an apprenticeship, or stay on, do our A-levels, go to university. But who has a goal to be financially free? Johnny speaks at length about the encouragement he received from his mum at a young age, something we should give all our kids. The idea that they can achieve whatever they want in life. Although, like he said, I think they were thinking more of a traditional route, out of working class life, to university, get a good job in the city in finance, good salary and benefits. I really feel that most parents see education as a roadmap to financial freedom. You go to school, get good grades, go to university, get a good result, go get a job, get a house, get a nice car, and work to support your lifestyle. And always don't forget, pay into your pension. What comes across from speaking with Johnny is his focus on achieving goals he has set. He's living life on his terms. And on his journey, he's been able to achieve financial freedom. Not by going to school, going to the university, getting a job, getting a car, but it's by having big dreams, making plans, setting goals, taking action, and letting go of the fear. It feels and it seems that the traditional advice and the system that we find ourselves in can be an obstacle to attaining financial freedom. It's almost like we're starting from a negative mentality towards money. Our relationship with anything financial tends to be a really negative one. More money, more problems, as the song says, or you've heard people say, don't make money your God, or look after the pennies and the pounds will look after themselves. Why are we not looking after the pounds? If we aren't talking about financial freedom in everyday conversation, how can we move away from these negative connotations? I'm sure we've all had a friend, when asked to go on a night out, has said, sorry, I can't afford it, I'm skint. Or have you seen the interest rates recently? At the price of a loaf of bread or the price of a weekly shop? But talking about financial freedom will naturally adjust your mindset to money and to the choices in life. So, how do you know if you have financial freedom, you may ask? Well, for me, it is when you feel like you are living life on your terms. Now, the internet will be full of formulas out there and tactics that will tell you that you'll be financially free when you earn so much more times than your expenses on a monthly basis. But for me, it's when you're living life on your terms. So how does it feel to be financially free? First of all, let's be clear, I don't know how that feels. I'm not there yet. But I am striving towards it. Listening to Johnny is really exciting. Here is someone who is genuinely living their life on their own terms, achieving his dreams, setting his goals, making his plans, and acting on them. I believe that financial freedom will make you feel less stressed, less anxious. It will help you with your personal relationships also along the way. When you're financially free, you can do the things that you enjoy doing. If you don't like your job, you can leave without consequences. It may even bring down divorce rates. But what I took from my chat with Johnny is that I do actually have a definition of financial freedom that is true to me. Financial freedom is having enough income so that you can choose what to do with your time. That's mine. That's my definition. And to me, this is the starting point. To know what you want and what you want to do with it and how to live life on your terms. So looking at Johnny, what has he done differently? Well, first of all, he's looked at his dreams. He's wanted to travel. He's created plans on how to travel. He's set goals to achieve those dreams. And from there, he could take action. Now, Johnny describes himself as coming from the school of tough love. He's taken control and power over his life. And his positive vibes are absolutely contagious. He's concentrated on getting good things in his life, constantly focused on what he has in his life and what he can achieve in life, rather than focusing on any of the negatives and what he doesn't have in his life. So, as Johnny explained, he could have focused on the fact that he didn't have the financial nest egg from his family to go on a fully funded gap year all around the world, come back and get that job in the city. But what he did have was the ability to overcome those obstacles, let go of that fear. He could go teach English in another country and start his journey differently. If you wish it, but don't plan it, then it's just a dream. Johnny had a dream to travel, but he then set out plans with goals and took action. Johnny did speak about making sacrifices. He was so focused on completing his goals of visiting all the countries that he missed out on other occasions, time spent with family and friends, missed out on weddings, in order to invest in his future. He committed to achieving his goals that he had set himself and held himself accountable for them, so that his future life experiences would be better. Look, there's lots of practical factors out there that will contribute to financial freedom, and which you'll most likely have to be aware of: financial stability, budget management, financial responsibility. But for me, the journey to financial freedom is far more about your relationship with money than the relationship with your Excel spreadsheet. You need to have a positive relationship with money and actively talk about why we as individuals want to be financially free, and understand what our personal interpretation of financial freedom is. And then we are able to plan, set goals, take action to live life on our terms. So why not take the time now, just as you finish listening to this shortcast, have that conversation with your inner child, that small boy or girl inside you that you know but you may not have spoken to for a while. Tell them you are worthy to be financially free. You do deserve to live life on your terms. So let's take action. Take this opportunity, start a new conversation with those around you, and let's make financial freedom the trending topic. Thanks for listening. See you soon.
Hey, my name's Paul Higgins, and I am the Irish Connection. This podcast is about connecting with people from all walks of life and finding out their stories so that they can connect with you all. Positive connections are contagious. Why don't you find out for yourself by listening along weekly? And you can also make more connections through the stories on our blog. Enjoy.